And welcome back, everyone, to the Digimon Partner Series. So, I will also bring this announcement with the Quirk Series. This is going to be, for the time being, the last month we do the Digimon and the My Hero Quirk Series, the character Quirk Series. Reason for now, it's a twofold answer. One, the reason I'm kind of going to be just not getting rid of, just putting them to the side for a little while, at least for the rest of the year, is that with the end of My Hero Academia now upon here, it's now going to be a series. The Quirk series is now going to become just less relevant zeitgeist-wise, I guess is the best way to put it, with My Hero now kind of falling into the rear view. Series based around that would also fall into rear view as well. Now, granted, that's not going to stop me from doing the what ifs or anything like that, but a specific series that we're dealing with the quirks, it's just never been one of the more popular series. And while I'm someone who just generally does what he does, I do still watch the numbers on the channel to know what people are mostly watching, mostly looking forward to. So that one is going to probably go away. I'm not saying that will be permanent, but it is going to go away. And unfortunately, for those of you who are really getting into the Digimon ones as well, the Digimon ones will be going away as well. Now, the reason for the Digimon ones is honestly a bit more selfish. I don't, it's not that I don't love doing what I do. I do love doing, but in terms of the ones I enjoy doing the most on the channel, the Digimon ones, I'll admit, fall a little farther down the totem pole. I did it on a whim as an idea, and I enjoy doing it. But between everything else that goes on the channel, it's just one of the ones I feel falls to the wayside. And again, just like the Quirk series, it's a series that I just, looking at the numbers, doesn't pull in the views, say, that the other series I do. Hell, I mean, does it pull in more views than, technically speaking, like, say, the Pokemon Team Creation series? Technically, yes. But the Pokemon, a series like Pokemon, the Lantern Corps, are always kind of relevant within the general, media zeitgeist. The Zanpakuto one, I'll admit, that one is a bit more for me than anything else because I'm a big Bleach fan, but Bleach's relevancy has come back in the certain years, with the 1,000-Year Blood War coming back and things along those lines. So, I think for right now, this will be the last month of both the Quirk and the Digimon Partner Series, for the time being. Let me at least get to the first of the year, and then we'll talk about maybe bringing them back. I have had suggestions of other series that aren't a bad idea, like can a character survive in a different series kind of videos. So that's something that can be brought up. But for the time being, let's just treat it as business as normal. From Shadows82, we have what is the Digimon partner of Chang, and I want to make sure I get the name right. Chang Wufei? I think Wufei Hansel. But Wufei from Gundam Wing, I believe it was, to be specific. Now, as always when looking at characters, sometimes looking at their abilities, their heritage is a good idea. Other times looking at their personalities is a good idea. As someone who's not a big Gundam fan, this was much more a look at his personality. And he is portrayed as kind of the not geek, but a bit of a bookworm, but also hot-tempered, hot-blooded, skilled in hand-to-hand combat, and, kind of like the stoic badass a little bit. The textbook model student who's also, got that backstory that's very, harsh and, molded them into the person they are today. Kind of like that a little bit. So I'm like, okay, where can I go with that? And luckily I figured it out. So, someone coming back from a more relatively recent video, Bearmon, or Kumamon as he used to be called. Now, why Bearmon? He doesn't seem to fit this guy very much. Well, this goes into the melee aspect that I learned about this character, that he's a very capable hand-to-hand fighter. Now, this will become more apparent as the line goes on. But coming in for his champion form, we have Grizzlymon! And Grizzlymon, being, the big grizzly bear with these almost knuckle blade gloves on his paws, makes sense for the Digivolution champion form. But then we go a little off the beaten trail here. Because the Leomon line comes in, and the Grapple Leomon. Grapple Leomon is more like kind of like I wouldn't say he's a wrestler, but he's definitely wrestler style, brawler style, with these, I don't want to call them turbines, but they kind of act like that. It's Grapple Leomon, by the way, not Grappler. Although I think the Japanese kind of just, spells it more like Grappler or something like that. Regardless. This, again, is leaning towards a bit of the melee. But why am I focusing all on the melee, the physicality? Because that's not really what this character's about, really. That's certainly an aspect to him, but it's not the core of who he is. He is hot. He's a bit of hot-tempered. He's a bit hot-tempered. But he also can be quite stoic. He's very intelligent and a good strategist, which leads me to this. When I started this one, I started with the Mega. That's where I started. Whenever I look at these characters, I think of the Digimon I think is best fitting this person, and then work out the Digivolution line from there. It was the Mega that stood out to me. And I've done a couple of the Royal Knights so far. All Force Vidramon, Jessmon. I believe I did Omnimon as well, through some shenanigans. I did Omnimon. I think I haven't done a lot of them, but I've definitely done some of them. Leopardmon. Leopardmon is, by all accounts, considered to be the strategist, the military strategist of the Royal Knights. I would go so far as to say, too, physically speaking, he is probably the weakest knight. But that's just from pure physicality. He is still extremely agile. His Chrome Digizoid metal is, I believe, the brown kind, which is like a more flexible variety. And he's still extremely powerful. He's still a Mega level Digimon. But that being said, Leopardmon works well here because he is a bit, not stoic, but he is a little temperamental, as well as having as well as having the highest IQ, roughly speaking, of the Knights, and being the most analytical and strategic of the Knights. So he certainly, I think, fits the bill here. Also, the fact that he can transform into a leopard form works with Gundam, because honestly, the Knights all kind of look like they're like humanoid Gundams to some degree. They do kind of look that way, because the way the Knights are designed, they don't have mouths, they got basically like face plates. Granted, their eyes don't look like Gundam eyes, but that's whatever. Honestly, if that's the case, you could go Gundam Seed instead. Then they look more like Royal Knights. But regardless, I like this line roughly. You start with like a more juvenile kid going to this guy who's going through his adolescence, teen years. Then you get into a bit more mature individual, and finally you evolve into the military mind and strategist that he ultimately would become. So that's my thoughts for his Digimon part line. Let me know what you think. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments below. But until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys for the next one.